Hey everyone, welcome to the Artuta Art School Drawing Lab. Today we're going to learn how to draw Waffle World. You're going to need a piece of paper, pencil, some pens, an eraser. Let's get started. So this tutorial is suitable for all ages and all experience levels. So first I'm going to start out by drawing these parallel lines. This is going to be one of those like tic-tac-toe shaped waffles. I'm drawing it at a slight angle. It's going to be like a planar world. I'm kind of floating out in space here. You know, I thought waffles would make a great material for buildings, but I didn't want to draw buildings. I wanted to draw an entire waffle world. So I'm just going to try to keep these lines pretty parallel, in alignment with each other, and rounded, like how waffles are. Doesn't have to be perfect. And you know, just like with all of Artuta's classes, you're welcome to follow along with what I'm doing or make it your own. You can use this time however you like. At the end of the video, we'll have a QR code so you can upload your work and share it with us. We'd love to see it. Link is also in the description. I'm going to curve these lines for that soft waffle shape. Get that 3D vibe going. So this inner line is going to be at a bit of an angle because I don't know if you've ever looked at a waffle closely, but those inner squares are actually slightly smaller than the outer squares. I guess that's where the press goes in and then the waffles are able to slide out. I'm starting off this drawing with a pencil. We'll go back and erase our lines later and go over it with a pen. Again, it doesn't need to be exact, but kind of futzing around with it anyway. With little details like having the lines be parallel does make a difference for that sense of dimensional reality. Oh yeah, I'm gonna shorten that one. That one is a bit too long, actually. So this is a stream of consciousness, one-point perspective drawing. I'm just kind of seeing what happens. Don't have a set plan. In some parts of the world, this kind of waffle comes pre-packaged, actually. Of course, we've got round ones too. Aren't there even those like ice cream cones made of waffles? I've never tried those, but I'd really like to. Have you tried them before? I'm not going to worry too much about shading. I'm not going to think about light source too much. I do see this waffle floating in space though, so maybe there will be some kind of waffle sun or distant waffle star or something. Just gonna start clearing up some of these lines. If you aren't familiar with Artuta Art School, we are an art school in Brooklyn, and we teach classes online and in person. Our classes are suitable for kids and adults. We've got summer camp for local kids. We've got comics drawing. We've got more technical classes. But really we're about creativity, guiding you and cultivating your own creativity. You know, art education is one of those funny things because art can't be taught in a way, but we do believe it can be inspired. All of our teachers went to art school. Art is our thing, and we want to share it with others. People get so hung up on the idea that you have to do things a certain way or you have to be technically proficient. Actually, I kind of like making mistakes. Don't get me wrong. Technical drawings, technical art is also nice, but I really can't consider myself very skilled technically. But it doesn't mean I can't still draw, right? It doesn't mean I can't still enjoy it. For a lot of us, it's really about the expression. What are we trying to say? We're just having fun. This drawing is definitely more on the silly end of things. So now I'm getting our distant waffle sun going. I'm not going to get too detailed. I'm actually thinking about a globe. You know how globes, you have those lines that meet at the top and then the lines that go around. I feel like that could work well for a waffle planet, distant waffle sun. For things that are far away, we don't have to be as detailed. It's just how our vision works. We don't have to be too detailed about it. I'm going to curve these lines to give a sense of dimension. Kind of spherical shape of the distant waffle sun. Now I'm thinking about maple syrup. I love maple syrup on my waffles. I don't know about you, but those little indentations, those are built for maple syrup, in my opinion. What do you put on your waffles? So I'm gonna sketch out one of those little pouring, what are those things called? It's not a saucer. What are they? I can't even remember. What are those little things called? Those little pourers? What are those things called? Like a little serving? What on earth are those things called? One of those things, full of maple syrup, flying through space. Gonna get some 3D vibes going with that edge. Gonna put that syrup in there. It's gonna kind of gloop out in droplets through space. I feel like that's maybe what it would do. Oh, and I'm gonna want to get those glints going on the maple. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need glints. This is gonna be a little bit more of a cartoon style. I'm okay with mixing styles. We're gonna go for like a surrealistic drip. Gonna sketch that in. Doesn't need to look perfect. I kind of like it weird, honestly. I'll work on that glint later when I go over it with pen. We're just gonna sketch it out right now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna wanna get some radiating lines from that distant waffle sun. And you know what? I'm kind of seeing a face on this little pouring jar? Container? In our drawing techniques class, that's where we're exploring more technical aspects of drawing. So we did some face mapping techniques. And one trick is to make the eyes the width of an eye apart. You can map it out that way. We're doing a variation. We're gonna do it 3/4. Fingers crossed. Doesn't end up too wonky. It's okay. A little bit of wonky is okay. Got a little nose action, little mouth. I'll work on it a little more later. Let's get those glints in. I might have to play around with the angles a bit. You know what else I love on my waffles? Butter. I'm gonna be honest. I like that butter. I love those little squares of butter you get when you go to the diner. I think he's gonna have a little face too. Maybe some melty lines too, flying through space. Ooh. Again, going for that 3/4, 3-dimension. It's 3/4 turn and kind of 3/4 above. So trying to keep that perspective consistent across all of our objects. Get those greasy, buttery motion lines going. I'm seeing some droopy eyes on the butter. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know he's about to melt all over this delicious space waffle. What else would be going on in Waffle World? We got maple, we got butter. Whipped cream. I don't eat whipped cream a lot with waffles, but especially at the diner, they always put so much whipped cream on the waffles. And I love homemade whipped cream, but this is gonna be from the can. Remember those cans? Do they still have those? Remember we used to play with those as a kid. Back in the 80s. 1980s. Yeah, we're gonna have a little space person. You heard about those astronauts? They're like stuck out on the space station. Oh, that would freak me out, honestly. It sounds cool, but also super freaky. Maybe this is their escape plan. Giant can of whipped cream propelling them back to Earth. Or heck, maybe they'll just go to Waffle World. Okay, I probably should have looked at a picture of whipped cream before starting to draw this. Let's just pretend. We're gonna use the power of our imagination to believe that it's whipped cream. It's kind of like spewing everywhere through space. Will it land on the waffle? I feel like that's the sound that has to be made. That's the sound that has to be made for whipped cream. Okay, if you didn't know it was whipped cream, you might think it was something else. It's gonna erase that background a bit. You know, sometimes I just draw with a pen so that I have to go with any kind of mistakes I make, quote unquote mistakes. But sometimes it's handy to first sketch it out with a pencil. You can erase what you don't want, add things spontaneously. But layering stuff with a pen is also really interesting, so that's a fun exercise to try too. You know, if I'm really uncertain about how to draw something, I'll totally just look up a picture of it, a photo, or even see how other artists draw the image, get some ideas about how to translate the reality into 2 dimensions with lines. In this case, I didn't, so... Well, you know, it's something. I'm going to start going over my lines with pen. I'm not going to color mine in, but certainly you could color yours in. You could have a blue waffle planet, green whipped cream. I'm going to keep mine lines for now. Make it look sharp. And actually the lines on the waffle, they don't have to be too straight or too... The corners don't have to be too pointy. Right, because waffles are soft and a bit rounded at the edges. And as I said, I'm not going to really do any shading today, but you could definitely play around with even combining pencil and pen, using the pencil to do some shading, and using the pen to do your outlines. That could be an interesting effect. Or if you wanted, you could experiment with some water, like a watercolor. It might make your pen ink run a little bit. Or if you have watercolors, you could dip into that. gosh, the nose. Noses give me anxiety. Do they give you anxiety too? It's okay. Oh yeah, whipped cream. Oh boy. There we go. Got it spewing everywhere. Gonna do our astronaut. I guess they're writing backwards. Oh, that's okay. Maybe it would have made more sense to do it the other way, but they got on the wrong direction. Flying blind. I love drawing those space helmets. That visor, it's pretty cool. I feel like that whipped cream, it comes out in like a star shape, right? That's why I'm doing those lines. Get our distant waffle sun going. And as we start to wrap up, I just want to remind you that at the end we are going to have a QR code so you can share your artwork with us. We'd love to see what you did. Include your social media handles so we can tag you, Instagram, Facebook. We're also going to point you to our website, artuta.net. You can find out about our classes, workshops. We have a student art gallery, student art show, summer camp, comics drawing, drawing techniques. And hey, if there's something you want to learn, shoot us an email, info@artuta.net. Let us know what you want to learn. We also do private instruction, portfolio prep. I'll work on this a little longer and then wrap up the video and we'll see how it turns out. Thanks so much for joining us. Submit your artwork at this QR code. Check out our website to learn more about our classes. Thanks so much, you guys. Take care. Bye.